Hello, sir. Vijay, sir. Are you there?
Yes, you can start.
And that's okay, ma'am. No problem. Shall we start the session, ma'am?
Good afternoon, Dr. Murugan, sir.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon,
Sir,
sir.
good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
First time I'm seeing you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Same here.
Yes, sir. Sir, shall we start the program, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm ready, sir. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Just a minute. Just a minute. Dipti, madam, can you please?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. For today's third session of fourth day short-term training program on dynamic transformation of innovative teaching pedagogy, hosted by Department of Business Management of Vagdevi College of Engineering. In this session, we have an interesting topic titled Open Educational Resources by Dr. P. Murugan sir, and I am very much glad to brief Dr. Murugan sir's profile. Sir is working as assistant professor in School of Management Studies, University of Hyderabad. Sir completed his PhD from Anna University, Chennai. Sir served as data analyst in Australian Council for Educational Research. Sir also served as faculty associate at IMT Hyderabad. Sir worked as faculty in Department of Management Studies, NIT Trichy. Sir was an assistant professor at Shakti Mariamman Engineering College, Chennai. Sir also served as lecturer in Sri Aravinder Arts and Science College, Pondicherry. Sir organized various workshops and also invited as resource person for various FDPs and workshops. Sir is having many publications in national and international journals. Sir is also an expert in data analysis techniques and is having exposure with analytical software packages. And I'm glad to invite you, sir. Welcome,
Thank you,
sir.
ma'am. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. Uh, shall I start the session, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So I hope you can see my screen as well as hear me properly.
Yes, sir. It's
It's
clear.
yeah. Thank you. So, good afternoon to everyone. So this is what my affiliation details. So I'm from University of Hyderabad, and since 2018 January, I'm working with the School of Management Studies, Hyderabad Central University. Uh, um, so actually, I mean, by learning, I've not attended any courses, or maybe I have not. Moreover, I'm not from education domain. So based on my experience and then attending some of the other sessions at various places, I learned this particular concept, that is open educational resources. And during this COVID time alone, I did close to I don't know the exact numbers, maybe 25 or 30 sessions exclusively on open educational resources alone in various platform and various universities, including some of the law universities in South India. So this is what my exposure with respect to open educational resources. So I also used to conduct one more component related to this OER part, that is nothing but data analysis using open source softwares, where I used to cover some of the softwares like Blue Sky Statistics, Xamavi, XASP, and so on. So all those softwares are like a GUI, a graphical user interface softwares, but purely based on R packages. So if time permits today evening, maybe for the last 10 or 15 minutes, I'll also demonstrate something about that, because that is also coming under OER component. And if you need any other details related to this OER component as well as other topics, you please visit my site. This is my site. You go to my Google site, there you will get a lot of details about myself. Fine. So before I start the session, I just want to hear something from the participants. So do you have any understanding or idea about OER? Do you have any idea and understanding about OER? You can share your experiences in the chat window. And the second follow-up question is, why we need to learn OER? So this is what the second question. So I just want to hear something from the participants. So do you have any understanding related to open educational resources? You please feel free to share something in the chat window, or you can come to the live chat. Anything is fine. Star officer. I don't know, sir, what you are saying. Yeah, Star Office. I think you are saying some software. I don't know. Yeah, LibreOffice is one of the open source software. We are not going to discuss all those things now. Anything else apart from software? Do you have any other knowledge or maybe understanding on open educational resources? So can you share your site in chat box? Yeah, definitely I'll share. Yeah, it's free, correct? Yes, Samant, professor. Yes, you're right. Yeah, anything else? Anything else? Okay, so I'll enhance the learning aspect. Yes, updation of knowledge to meet the upcoming challenges, to meet the new normal, which is the need of the hour. Yes, very true, Professor Ruby. Yeah, anything else? We get best faculties access. Okay. Okay, fine. So we'll have the formal discussion now. So before I getting into the session, I'll share some insights. So why we are interested in learning open educational resources? There are four major reasons are available in terms of understanding open educational resources. So one of the basic reason is cost reduction. So in what way or in what aspect you can reduce the cost? Can you share your inputs? So I just kept one of the pointers cost reduction and the why OER question. So, do you have any, answer related to this point? Any answers from the participant side? In what way you can reduce the cost? Least infrastructure, travel cost saved. Okay. In what way we can reduce the cost? No, this is not related to online teaching or maybe online education. Though in online teaching we are using OER component. So travel cost can be saved with the help of conducting online webinar sessions and so on. So that way we can reduce the cost. That's fine. But here my question is, with the help of OER, you can save or reduce the education budget cost. So in what way? Yeah, covering masses with the fixed investment. Okay. Anyway, I'll give my explanation. So, for example, you take any course currently which you are teaching, part of your teaching process. You take any textbook. Definitely, the textbook may be coming from foreign soil or maybe from Indian author, and the bare minimum cost of the textbook could be 400 or 500 rupees. This is one aspect of looking at the education budget. Who is going to spend this money? Suppose if you are collecting some fee from the students as an institute, you have to provide the textbook by bearing that particular cost, and you need to procure them from any of the reputed publisher, and then you need to distribute it among the students. Definitely, you have to incur that particular cost. So this particular cost can be saved with the help of this cost can be saved with the help of using something called open textbooks. Open textbooks. Through this way, we can save the cost. Through this way, we can save the cost. So that's the reason I kept this cost reduction as one of the component. This is one perspective or one of the lens which you can understand this cost reduction. Another perspective is think about some of the softwares used by the organizations, I mean educational institutions. For example, in management field, for running any data analysis courses, in most of the cases, people use something called the SPSS software or any of the other commercial softwares like SAS and then Stata, Statistica, Amos, and so on. So all those packages or maybe softwares are coming from some of the commercial sources, and you need to procure them. You need to procure them according to some website information. Per user license of SPSS is costing around 3 lakh rupees
per user license of SPSS is costing around 3 lakh rupee. And if you are going to buy 60 user licenses, 60 into 3, you just imagine the cost which you are going to incur in terms of procuring that particular software alone. So you need to invest more than a crore rupee in terms of procuring this particular software. Now the entire cost or education budget of that particular university, or education budget of your student, or education budget of our country, that can be saved. And overall that will lead to some national saving. This commercial software can be replaced with the help of Blue Sky Statistics, or Zamovi, or JASP, or R programming, or Python, or any of the other free softwares that is coming in the market. Available in the internet platform in terms of running the data analysis software. So the entire cost is going to the foreign soil, and with by replacing these commercial packages with the help of the some of the open source softwares, we can definitely reduce this particular budget, and this budget can be diverted to some other areas where we need a lot of resources. So these are the two ways how you can drastically, I'm not saying that reduce, drastically how you can reduce the education budget for your institute, or maybe for your entire country. And then second aspect of understanding why OER question is course customization. If you look at the syllabus, whatever may be the syllabus right now we are teaching, everything is, almost all of the syllabus were formulated purely based on one or two textbook references. I'm not saying that this is applicable to everyone or every universities across India. In most of the cases, at least 70 to 80% of the cases, what is happening is you take any course plan or you take any syllabus from your affiliating university, or maybe from your, if your institute is autonomous institute, you just take any course plan or maybe course handout, and the entire content will be purely based on one or two textbooks. And to teach or to cover that particular content, you are supposed to procure that book, or you are supposed to depend on that particular book. So that dependency can be reduced, and the course customization can be done with the help of accessing some of the open educational resource content from different databases or from different sources. That is also another objective or another reason why you should understand the concept of open educational resources. And then especially for online teaching, for example, tomorrow I'm going to teach a course and I don't have the resource in terms of delivering the content, whether it is a reading material or maybe video based lecture content. It can be anything. Simply I can borrow some resources, or simply I can borrow some materials from the online resources under the open educational resources platform, and then I can also send it to my students. That is possible, very much possible, with the help of OER. So these are the four major reasons why we are trying to use open educational resources. And with the help of this OER content, we can also customize our course. With the help of OER content, we can also provide remote access facility to our students. Only requirement is they should have internet connection. If that is the case, without conducting the whole session also, you will be able to complete the course. That is possible. That's how we are managing the, completely you can go for blended learning or blended approaches. With the help of blended approaches, you can also reduce the fatigue level, screen fatigue level of the students, because if you are going to conduct the online session throughout the day, means you just imagine, as a faculty, even we ourselves are not having enough motivation to teach the content whole day in front of the system, because we love to see the student face and then we want to make a lot of interaction among the students, but that is not happening in online mode. Though there are some interaction happening, but this is not sufficient. As a faculty, my personal feeling is I'm not liking the way how we are handling the courses right now. So the entire component can be, especially the stress level of the student as well as the faculty, that can be reduced with the help of open education resources. So with this note, we'll get into the open education resource session content. So what is OER? So OER is nothing but Open educational resources are any type of educational material freely available for teachers and students to use, adapt, or share and reuse. That is nothing but open educational resources. If any of the materials are freely available for teachers and students to use, adapt, or share and reuse means those materials are referred as open educational resources. And examples of OER include learning content such as lesson plans, assignments, textbooks, exams, and videos, as well as tools for learning like software for creating videos and websites, course management systems, word processing programs, and training materials, etc. So all those materials are coming under open educational resources umbrella. So whatever may be the resources that is coming from different internet platform with, I'm putting some if condition here, with open source license. We'll have more discussion about what is this open source license and all, and without charging any money, even without spending not even single rupee except your internet cost and then your system cost. Without spending not even single rupee, if you are able to access all those resources means all those resources are referred as open educational resources. Always don't think that OER means only the free softwares like LibreOffice and then Linux platform and so on. No, that is not the case. There are some open source materials, reading material, video content, audio content, textbook content, all those things are available. That is what now we are going to discuss part of this 1.5 hour session. Then and there, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer all of your questions. Then and there you try to ask the questions. So some of the key digital initiatives done by our Indian government is, so one of the major digital initiative is SWAYAM, and then SWAYAM Prabha, National Digital Library of India, Virtual Labs, eAntra, and then FOSI. So here, if you go to this site, you will get better source of information in terms of using some of the open source softwares for your teaching and learning process purpose. So these are some of the digital initiatives done by our Indian government with respect to education. Beyond this also, there are about 22, 23 major digital initiatives were done by our recent government. And you can also get all those details from Government of India website. Some statistics about NDL site, that is National Digital Library of India, formerly launched on 19th June 2018, 24/7 you have the access and accessible by anyone from anywhere and anytime. Single window search facility with the filters through which users can personalize their searching process. More than 2 crore ebooks, journals, audiobooks, question banks are available. Contents are available in 200 plus languages. And so far, this is quite old data. This is quite old data. Now, straight away, we'll go to NDL library. Before we getting into NDL, SWAYAM and other things, I want to share some insights about what is open course, open educational resources and then open licenses. After that, we'll come back here in terms of understanding the resources available from Indian government as well as international platform. You just go to my site, and if you go to this resources page, just go to my site, and then if you click this resources page, so here there is a heading available called open educational resources. Under that, I just populated a web link that is coming from one of the external source that is coming from University of Pittsburgh site. So you just click that link. You will be able to access a site, different site that is coming from University of Pittsburgh. I'll show you just a minute. Yeah, this is what the University of Pittsburgh site. And if you go to this find here, you will get a lot of things. We'll come back to this find menu a little later. Now, I just want to highlight something about this open licenses. And I want to play this video. Just a minute. Let me share my screen. It's a 6-minute video only. Just listen to this video.
Welcome to the Open Licensing presentation.
I hope you can hear the
Open
voice.
educational resources are course materials that are freely available and openly licensed so that faculty can do the 5 R's: revise, remix, reuse, redistribute, and retain. You can download the material, tailor it to your course, save a copy locally, and share it back out with attribution. Open educational resources help reduce textbook costs for students. In the OER Basics presentation, I only mentioned open licensing because there's so much to say about it. In this presentation, I'll get into the nuts and bolts of why open licensing is so important to the OER movement. When it comes to U.S. copyright law, intellectual property like textbooks usually falls into two broad categories. Either they're in the public domain or they're under copyright. So, for example, works that were published before 1923 are in the public domain and definitely don't require any permission to use. Works that are under copyright do require the copyright holder's permission before you can use them. And to keep things simple, when I talk about using a work, I'm talking about the things that instructors usually do, the 5 R's. But there's a big exception to the rule. Fair use and the Teach Act say that educational purposes are a good justification for using a work without the copyright holder's permission. So why do we need open licensing when we already have fair use? Educational fair use and the Teach Act can be difficult to interpret and, especially in the case of fair use, depend a great deal on the specifics of the use you plan to make of a work. What is fair in one context can be a copyright violation in another, especially if you plan to share your work widely. If you and your institution were to get caught up in a copyright lawsuit, it would be very expensive and time-consuming to defend yourself against the lawyers for Pearson or Harvard Business Review. Of course, you could always just ask the copyright holder for permission to use their work for your educational purpose. If they say yes, then you are covered. But it can be surprisingly hard to track down a copyright holder. When you do, you have to wait for their reply before you can proceed. This might take a while. What open licenses do is provide a shortcut for users. The creator of the work still holds the copyright, but the license they add specifies in advance what uses they give permission for you to do. So if you find something with an open license, you already know what you're allowed to do with it. So much easier. Coming at this from an author's perspective, if you create course materials and want to share them, you can publish them with an open license so that others will know that they're allowed to do the 5 R's on your work too. One caveat for faculty here, your contract may say that the work you create at work belongs to your institution and not to you. In that case, you will need to work with your administration to create a policy that enables you to add open licenses to your work if you want to. The most widely used open licenses are Creative Commons licenses. Their website has a tool that walks you through choosing the license that suits your need. There are 4 basic types of Creative Commons licenses, which can also be combined in certain ways. CC BY is the least restrictive license. It says that others can use your work as long as they provide attribution to you. CC BY non-commercial means that future users provide attribution to you and are not allowed to use your work for any commercial purpose. Many educators prefer this license because it ensures that a textbook publisher won't scoop up your openly licensed work and turn around and sell it to students. On the other hand, some people are concerned that a non-commercial license might prevent a campus bookstore from legitimately adding a small markup to a print version of an open textbook or course pack. CC BY Share Alike means that future users provide attribution to you and license their derivative work exactly the same way that you did. Last, CC BY No Derivatives is the only type of open license that I really wouldn't recommend for educational purposes. No derivatives means that your work can't be changed at all, so you can't do the 5 R's with them. CC BY ND licensed materials don't actually meet the definition of open educational resources. As I mentioned, Creative Commons licenses are the ones that you usually see, but there are all kinds of copyright and licensing language out there. If you run across content that you want to use, but you're not quite sure about the permissions, you can still always contact the copyright holder. While you're at it, you can ask them to add a Creative Commons license to their work so that future users will be clear on what they're allowed to do without waiting for a reply. Open Washington has a great open attribution builder, which I've used to create the attributions at the bottom of my slides for these presentations. You put in the citation and license info, and it writes you a nice attribution that you can copy and paste. There are certain kinds of work that are almost always under regular copyright without open licenses. For example, if you're studying modern poetry, your primary sources are all under copyright. And in these kinds of cases, you might be able to work with your library to get access to the work for your students. The presentation on library resources as course materials covers how this works. Copyright is a complex topic, so if you still have questions, it's a good idea to check with a librarian or copyright officer at your institution. You can also connect with colleagues and ask questions on the open or
I hope you got some clarity about understanding open source licenses. Anyway, I'll also make the formal presentation now. So there are 6 to 7 types of open licenses are available in the literature. So this is what the open source license is basically. The same thing only, was discussed in the previous video also. If you look at, let me check the chat window. Yeah, if you look at this particular picture, so Creative Commons licenses. So you have public domain license. Even in public domain also, you have public open and then public general license. There are 2 categories are available. And then CC BY is nothing but CC BY attribution license. And then you have CC BY share alike license, CC BY and no derivatives, and then CC BY non-commercial, and then CC BY NCSA, CC BY NCND. NCSA is nothing but non-commercial share alike, non-commercial no derivatives. So these are the different types of licenses are available in terms of using the materials for your educational and then teaching learning process purpose. So how to understand each and every types of licenses? So based on this criteria, 5 criteria, you can understand the different types of or nature of the licenses. So with respect to copy and publish or republish, and then attribution is required or not. Attribution required is nothing but giving the credit to the author, original author. That is nothing but attribution required. And then commercial use, whether you are allowed to use it for commercial purposes or only for non-commercial purposes, you can use it. And then you have modify and adapt. Modify and adapt is nothing but whether you have the provision to modify the content, the existing content, and then adapt it in your own curriculum and so on. And then change the license, whether you have the liberty to change the license category and so on. These are the 5 criteria available here. And if you look at the licensing category here, so basically what you need to understand is public domain license. If any one of the material is coming under public domain license, means you are free to use or make use of that particular material for any sort of purposes, even no need to cite the source of the reference, even no need to cite the source of the reference. So that is nothing but public domain license. CC BY attribution is nothing but you can do whatever you want to do, but you have to provide the credit, the source credit. You have to cite the source of the reference. And then CC BY share alike means you can do everything except changing the license. CC BY no derivatives means you can do everything except modification of the existing content. And then CC BY non-commercial means except using that particular content for non-commercial purposes, for rest of the cases you can use it. So what is this commercial and non-commercial? Suppose if this workshop is freely offered to the public, means it is not offered on the basis of the commercial motive. If it is, if the organizers have charged even 100 rupee or 50 rupee, even single rupee from the participant, means it is referred as commercial activity basically. So that's how you can understand commercial and the non-commercial. For more details, you can also go to creativecommons.org. There they have given a lot of explanation to understand what are the things are coming under commercial category and then not coming under commercial category and so on. CC by NCSA is nothing but you can do everything except using it for commercial use and then changing the license. CC by NCND means you can make use of the content for everything except non-commercial and then modifying the document. So for educational purposes, I strongly recommend you to use any of the materials that is coming under up to these 5 categories of licenses. Up to these 5 categories of licenses, I'm talking about public domain, CC by SA, and then CC by ND, CC by NC. In some cases, try to avoid using the content that is coming under CC by ND. Yes, of course, you can also use the content that is coming under CC by non-commercial purpose licenses. So this is a way how you can understand different types of licenses. Do you know the licensing category of NPTEL source? So through NPTEL, there are so much of content is coming right from IIT people. Do you know the licensing category of NPTEL videos or NPTEL materials? Any idea? Any idea? You just post it in the chat window. Yeah, what is the type of license they are giving? Professor Sabha? Just go to NPTEL site. Just go to NPTEL site. So they are giving CC by non-commercial share alike license. They are giving CC by non-commercial share alike license. Let me go to the home page of the NPTEL site, and then I can go to contact us or courses. Yeah, see the contact us page. See distribution under Creative Commons Attribution non-commercial share alike, that is CC by NCSA license. This is the license they are giving basically, which means that whatever may be the content that is coming under NPTEL source, that can be used for non-commercial activities purpose. Of course, you need to cite the source of the reference also. So this is a way how you can also make use of some of the content that is coming from NPTEL sources. Similarly, MIT open courseware materials also coming under, most of the course materials are coming under CC by NCSA licensing category only. So this is a way how you can understand under which licensing category they are populating or circulating or distributing their content. So this is a way how you can understand. Yeah, now we'll formally discuss about this. First, we'll start with NPTEL, National Digital Library of India. Have you ever visited National Digital Library of India before coming to this class? Have you visited NDL site? Yes, Rajesh Armugam, yes. They provide PPT of lectures. Can we share with students? Yes. Kumar Abhishek. Dr. Kumar Abhishek, sir, are you talking about NPTEL or NDL?
No, sir. I am talking about NPTEL, sir.
Yeah. I'll show you some live examples, sir. So right now I'm teaching a course called Principles of Management for my students. Right now I'm teaching a course called Principles of Management for my students. I'll show you that course page. This is the Open edX platform we are using at our university as a LMS platform. So this is what the course right now I'm teaching to my students basically. And let me view this course from the learner's point of view. And if you see the unit 1 content, this video is coming from NPTEL course. This video is coming from NPTEL course. Since the course is happening through online mode, and moreover there was a strong recommendation given by our university authorities saying that you try to reduce your live webinar session. Instead, you try to provide some pre-recorded video lectures. So what I did was I just shared some of the videos that is coming from NPTEL sources, part of this particular course. This course is Principles of Management, and the syllabus is also well aligned with our university syllabus, and moreover that too coming from some of the IIT professors. So I feel that the quality of the content is really good. So I can share this videos with the students. Then I check the licensing category also. So the NPTEL content is coming under CC by NCSA. and I was supposed to cite this particular video reference also. This is how I have created the citation, and I'll also show you how to create this particular citation using Open Washington, Open Washington site, I mean Attribution Builder site. And even one step further, what I did was I approached the NPTEL people. So this is what my situation, and I'd like to use some of your videos, and I need your, opinion in terms of using this videos for my course purpose. Then they also replied saying this as an answer. If you this is what the question I have asked, and see their reply. Greetings from NPTEL. Hope you are doing well. All the content developed for NPTEL and hosted on nptel.ac.in are distributed under the CC by NCSA license. So as long as it is being used for a non-commercial purpose, it can be reused. Please quote the actual link from the website, quoting the name of course, instructor, and institute, and you can use it in your material. So this is the reply they have given. So based on this evidence only, I mean, without any hurdles, I have started to populate all those content in my university. What you call the LMS platform. Now students are taking this particular course, and on the top of it, I'm also sharing some more resources like reading materials. This is from my side actually. I'm sharing some reading materials, and then I'm also sharing some of the live session recordings. I mean, whatever may be the live sessions we are conducting, so that I'm uploading, and then I'm also sharing this particular content. And similarly, even if you look at my course plan also, so this is what the textbook, this is what the textbook, and these are the reference books. So here I have given two open textbooks basically. Here I have given two open textbooks. In my course plan itself, clearly I have mentioned that video materials are in this course. I'm sharing some of the pre-recorded video lectures from one of the NPTEL course. The detailed license of the video material is given below. This is the course name and faculty name. NPTEL course, IIT Kharagpur is licensed under CC by NCSA 4.0 license. So everything I'm populating in the course plan itself. So this is the way I'm sharing the content with my students. Able to understand this? Yeah. Now we'll visit NDL site, and then we'll get to know how to access the resources from NDL site. So you just type NDL in Google, you will be able to access this National Digital Library of India, and then I'll show you how to access the resources from NDL site. So this is what National Digital Library of India. You can also create a login for yourself. If you want to create a login, you can create it so that you can also customize your search and then save your search details in your login credentials. That is possible. For example, I'm going to teach a course called, right now I'm handling a course called HR Analytics. Part of that, I was supposed to cover a module called multiple linear regression. So now I'm trying to locate some references related to multiple regression. So what I'm doing is I'm just typing multiple regression analysis in this particular window, and then I'm just clicking search. I'm clicking search. If you see here on the right hand side, you have content type all, text content, audio content, video content. Now I'm looking for some video content. I'm just clicking this video filter. So now video content. So here there are some videos are coming basically. So let me open any one of the video here. Let me open any one of the video here. Just a minute. Yeah, so I'm just opening this video. So this video is coming from one of the machine learning course from Coursera. This video is coming from one of the machine learning course from Coursera. So now what I can do is to cover this multiple linear regression model. It is having 8 minutes worth of content. I can also share this particular video with my students. That is possible. Simply I can copy this link, and then I can send it to my students, only this link, either this link, or I can share this particular video link. Anything is possible. So this is the way how I can locate the material, and then I can send it to my students. This is the way how you can also browse the content from NDL site. Similarly, if you need text-based material, you just click text button, and then, for example, there are some materials are coming here. So I'm just opening this text content. It's getting opening. Just a minute. No, it's taking a lot of time. Yeah, the content is coming. Let me look for one more content. So successfully I have located a video. Now I'm trying to locate the text file. So here I'm getting some text file. Now I can also share this particular text content with my students. See, if you feel that this content is good enough for your teaching, you can share this content. Whether we need to register, sir, not required, but you try to have a credentials. That's what I'm saying. What is metadata beside content? Are you talking about the citation of this particular content? Sabha, Professor Sabha, are you talking about the citation of this content? This content is coming part of one of the open textbook that is coming from National Council of Professors of Educational Administration, and there is a book on calculating advanced statistics part 2. So part of that you have a chapter on multiple regression part 1. So this is what the entire chapters available in the textbook.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please, ma'am.
I mean, at the top of the page, sir.
Yeah.
Just right beside the NDL content is there, and then metadata. Yeah, right, exactly there, sir.
Yeah,
I'm asking
yeah.
about
So
that,
you will get the details about the detailed details
Okay.
about that particular reference, from where it is coming, who are all the authors, content type, when it
Oh.
was created, language. So all those things will be
Thank you,
coming
sir.
from this particular
Thank you.
source. Yeah. So this is a way how you can locate the content from NDL site. Now I'll show you one more site. That site is nothing but NROER. This is one of the recent initiative done by Indian government, National Repository of Open Educational Resources. From here also you get good quality content, but not much is available. This is my personal experience, but I don't know whether they have uploaded some more content right now or not. So you can also browse this. So here also you get a lot of materials related to education. So this is exclusively developed by Indian government with respect to spreading the information related to open educational resources or open educational resource content. So you can also visit this NROER site in terms of accessing some of the materials. Now I'll go to the next part. Yeah, Swayam is another wonderful source where you can also get good quality course materials. Problem with Swayam is, if that particular course is not currently available, means you may not be able to make use of that particular material. That's the issue. That's the issue. If you are able to identify the YouTube channel of that particular course videos, and probably you can also make use of those videos. That is possible, because Swayam is also coming under open, Creative Commons licensing category only. Their license is also similar to NPTEL license. Now, at present, we are also offering a course through Swayam platform. The course name is Data Analysis for Social Science Teachers. If possible, you can also enroll into this course, and then you can also make use of this particular course material for teaching some of the multivariate data analysis techniques. If you are coming from management discipline, definitely you can get some insightful information from this particular course. So I'm just sharing this particular course link here. So even you can also make use of Swayam course videos or materials for your education purposes. That's what I'm trying to convey here. And then you have ePathshala, UGC MOOC. UGC MOOC is one of the vertical of our SWAYAM platform. So there are different initiatives that are available with respect to Indian government. You can also make use of all those resources for your educational and teaching administration purpose. So now try to understand something more about what is this open in the open content and open educational resources. So there are five labels are available like retain, revise, remix, reuse, and then redistribute. To understand each and every terminologies, you can go through this slide. The same content is available from University of Pittsburgh site also. So right now, just before NDL experimentation, we had a discussion about different types of licenses. The same picture only here also I kept it. And these are the different licenses and their meaning. CC by attribution lets other distribute, remix, tweak, and build upon your work, even commercially, as long as they credit you for the original creation. This is the most accommodating of licenses offered, recommended for maximum dissemination and use of licensed materials. CC by share alike means lets others remix, tweak, and build upon your work even for commercial purposes, as long as they credit you and license their new creations under the identical terms. This is particularly important if your work also includes other people's materials licensed through the Creative Commons. CC by ND means allows for redistribution, commercial and non-commercial, as long as it is passed along unchanged and in whole with credit to you. CC by NC means lets others remix, tweak, build upon your work non-commercially, and although the new works must also acknowledge you and be non-commercial, they don't have to license their derivative works on the same terms. CC by NCSA and the ND, I won't recommend you to use some of the materials that is coming under these two types of licenses. And then how do you evaluate the OER resources? In terms of accuracy, is the information accurate? Are there major content errors or omissions? Are there spelling errors to typos? And then in terms of relevance, does the information directly address one or more of the class objectives? Production quality, is the information clear and understandable? Is the layout and interface easy to navigate? Do the design features enhance learning? For audio or video resources, is the sound quality is high? So these are the ways how you can evaluate the OER content. In terms of accessibility, is the resource available in alternate formats? For audio or video resources, is there a transcript or subtitles? In terms of interactivity, does the resource encourage active learning and the class participation? Are there opportunities of students to test their understanding of the material? Example, video with embedded questions and so on. In terms of licensing, does the license allow for educational reuse of the materials? Does the license allow modifications or other adaptations of the materials and so on? So these are the different ways how you can assess the quality of the content. Now you try to visit this particular site via search websites. If you visit this particular site, I will also share the link of this site. So you will get a detailed list of OER sources where you can get different types of content. For example, you can also use Google Advanced Search Procedure to locate the OER content. Now I am going to demonstrate that. Please wait for some time. And then you can also use the CC by search site. From there also you can locate the content. Wikimedia Commons is one of the OER site. Flickr and Google Images. From there, Pixabay. These are the three major sources where you can get the free images basically. I'll also show you how to refine the search in Google Images search window to get the free images. Open Clipart library is one of the major source where you can get the cliparts with the open licenses. Photopedia, Encyclopedia of Life, and then Public Library of Science, Europina. For video search also I'm going to demonstrate how to locate the Creative Commons videos from YouTube source. Vimeo, Internet Archive, TED Talks, Al Jazeera. For audio and music search, you can also go to Zamendo, CC Mixter, Internet Archive, and so on. For example, whenever they are doing the marriage shooting, after that they will do the editing. After that, they used to synchronize some of the film songs along with their video album. But do you think that that is ethical in nature? Do you think that they are not getting into any of the copyright violation issues? Any idea? As far as that particular studio is concerned, creating that video album is a commercial activity or non-commercial activity? Yes, they violate. Yes, very true, Saman. So they can't use some other, I mean, audio materials that is coming from different YouTube sources or maybe different sources. To get free sources, you can also visit free music archive SoundCloud site, where you will get a free sound clips. If it is not coming, you try to create your own clips without copying others' works. That's what I'm trying to say. Related to education work, you can also go to OER Commons, the Orange Grove site, OpenAL courses, MIT Open Courseware, Webcast Berkeley from University of California, Berkeley, and then Khan Academy videos, Open Textbook Search. You can also go to collegeopentextbooks.org, OpenStax College, Siavula, CK12, Boundless, PhET. And then for modular course components, you can visit Connections, Uriki, Merlet Foundation. Merlet Foundation is the one who has funded MIT Open Courseware materials project in the year of 2003 or 2002. That's the initial initiative done across the globe in terms of spreading the knowledge to, some of the low-income countries as well as developing countries. And then Zorom, complete courses can be accessed through Open Learning Initiative, Open Course Library, and then MIT Open Courseware, OCW Search. Straight away, you can go to OCW Search site. From there, you can locate the content from MIT, Stanford, Open University, Learning Space, University of Massachusetts, University of Tokyo. From there, you will get content from OCW Search. UK Open University Learning Space, Sailor.org, Open Michigan, Open Carnegie Mellon, Open Yale. So these are the different places where you get free content. Now, quickly, I'll show you how to do the OER search process with the help of Google. For example, I am trying to locate some e-text material on multiple regression. I'm just typing multiple regression analysis in Google. So this is how we used to get the results. And suppose if you are creating some notes or maybe if you are creating some material for your students, means often we try to simply make use of all those content, whatever may be the links here available. We used to make use of all those content. Don't do that. Don't do that. So rather, what you can do is, please see the screen carefully. Go to settings, and then there is an option called advanced search. Click advanced search, and then you go down. So here you have something called usage rights. By default, whatever may be the Google search that is throwing the results, that will be not filtered by license. That will be not filtered by license. What you can do is, you just filter the license. So I need some of the content that can be freely used by the learners, and I can also freely share it with others. Even I can also modify the content, even for commercial purpose. So I'm just clicking this licensing category and then click advanced search. Now, whatever may be the content you are getting, you are free to use all those content. You are free to use all those content in your regular courses. Nobody can question you, but only requirement is, depending upon the licensing category, you need to cite the source of the reference. At the same time, you need to provide the source credit to the creator of this particular material. So I just opened 3 different materials here. Now we'll look at the license category of each and every content. For example, here there is a book chapter coming, chapter 8, regression basics, and go down. At the end of the page, you will be able to see the licensing category of this particular book content. See, I hope you can see the license term here. Introductory business statistics with interactive spreadsheets. Introductory business statistics with interactive spreadsheets, first Canadian edition by Mohammed Mahboubi and Thomas K. Tyman, is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 international license, which means that this particular license is coming under CC by attribution license. Except citing this reference, you can do everything. Nobody will question you. If you are teaching a course called statistics or maybe multivariate analysis techniques, anything, And if you want to share some content related to regression analysis, you just make use of this particular material, and then even you can also copy paste this content in your notepad, or maybe in your Word document, and then you can also circulate it with your students. But the only thing is you need to cite the source of the reference. Now look at this particular source of the reference. Here some discussions happen, but not much is available. Let me skip this slide. Yeah, now look at this particular source, Lumen Learning. So this is also another free source where you will get really good quality materials. For example, Lumen organization is offering some courses. The course title is Introduction to Statistics. Part of that, they have a module called Multiple and Logistic Regression. And here they just shared some text-based content. Now we'll look at the licensing category of this particular text-based content. If you go down, see here you have this license and attribution. Click that. See, Open Intro Statistics, authored by David M. Diaz, Christopher D. Barr, and mine, Chetinkia Randall, provided by Open Intro, located at this particular source. It's an open textbook basically, licensed under CC by Share Alike attribution. That is CC by Share Alike license. License terms: this textbook is available under a Creative Commons license. Visit openintro.org for a free PDF to download the textbook source files. So if you want to access this entire textbook content, you go to this site. But basically, Lumen Learning is another external body who is offering some course related to statistics, and they want to share some text content basically. And this particular text content is coming from this particular source. I mean, this particular open textbook. This is a way how you can locate the free resources from Google search. Now I'll do the same thing for images. You type whatever maybe the keywords you want to type it here, and then you go to settings, and then click advanced search. Go down, usage rights. So here you pick Creative Commons licenses, and then click advanced search. Now whatever maybe the images you are getting here, all those images are coming under Creative Commons licensing category. Even for your PPT preparation and other purposes, you can make use of all these images. Now let me locate this particular image source, and then we'll check the licensing category. Just give me a second time. Yeah, so these are the images available in terms of representing the slope. If you go down, you will be able to see the license. See, files are available under license specified on their description page. All structured data from the file and the property namespace is available under the Creative Commons CC0 license. This is nothing but public domain license. All unstructured text is available under the unstructured text is nothing but images available under the Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike license. Additional terms may apply by using this site. You agree to the terms of use and policy, privacy policy. So basically, this image is coming under CC by Attribution Share Alike license. You are free to make use of this particular image for educational purposes. Even for non-commercial purposes, you can use it. If you need more details about what is this Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike license, you just click that link. You will get explanation from creativecommons.org site. See, this is what CC by Attribution Share Alike 3.0 license. Here what they are saying is you are free to share, copy and redistribute the material in any medium or format, adapt. You can also remix this content with other content, transform and build upon the material for any purpose, even commercially. The licensor cannot revoke these freedoms as long as you follow the license terms. And under the following terms, attribution, you must give appropriate credit, provide a link to the license, and indicate if changes were made. You may do so in any reasonable manner, but not in any way that suggests the licensor endorses you or your use. Share alike means if you remix, transform, or build upon the material, you must distribute your contributions under the same license as the original. No additional restrictions. You may not apply legal terms or technological measures that legally restrict others from doing anything the license permits and so on. So this is what the meaning of Creative Commons Share Alike Attribution License. This is the way how you can locate the free images from Google Images search window. Now, quickly, I'll show you how to locate the free videos from YouTube sources. Free videos from YouTube sources under the Creative Commons licensing category. So I'm just visiting YouTube, channel. I'm just visiting YouTube window, and then here you have the search box. So in the search window, what you do is I'm just typing multiple regression as a keyword. Multiple regression as a keyword. After that, you are getting a lot of videos here. After that, you are getting a lot of videos here. Don't use just like that. Here on the left hand side top corner, you have something called filter. You have something called filter. You just click this filter button, and then column 1, 2, 3, fourth column features. Under the fourth column, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth option is Creative Commons. Fifth option is Creative Commons. Click Creative Commons, and then now whatever may be the videos you are getting, you are free to make use of all those videos for your educational purposes. Nobody can question you in terms of using all those videos. For example, I'm just opening this particular video. This is coming from NPTEL HRD source. And if you go down here, click show more. Licenses, Creative Commons Attribution License, reuse is allowed. Reuse is allowed, and this is what the attribution information for this particular video. But basically, this video is uploaded under the Creative Commons licensing category. See, this is the way how you can access the source of the video. Now you can make use of this particular video for your educational purposes. This is the way how you can locate the videos from free sources. Now quickly I'll show you how to locate the free textbooks, open textbook from different sources. So even for this also I have uploaded a video on my site, and that is coming from YouTube channel. From my YouTube channel. So for example, here I have given some 8 minutes video on demonstrating open education resource searching process. Whatever I have demonstrated now, everything will be available in this video. And then how to upload your video under the Creative Commons license category, and then how to locate the open access textbooks from different sources. For that also I have created a video and then uploaded into my YouTube channel. You can also go through this. Now I'm just visiting this OpenStax and then open.human site. So using these sites, you will be able to locate the free sources, free videos basically. Just a minute. Yeah, this is one of the free site where you can get the peer reviewed, openly licensed 100% free textbooks. For example, now I'm teaching a course called the Principles of Management. So there is a free textbook available here. Don't think that all of our students are coming from wealthy background and they can also afford to buy 500 rupees worth of book and so on. No, don't imagine anything. There are cases, at least 1 or 2 cases will be there in your class where they may not be having enough money to procure the educational materials, whether it is book or notebook or it can be anything. So again, you just imagine, for example, in India alone, it's a rough estimate. In India alone, there are close to 5,000 institutions are offering business administration courses like MBA program. In every MBA course, definitely they will have the subject in the first semester itself, Principles of Management. And one of the topmost book is Harold Kuhns and then Robinson and so on. There are some textbooks are available. So those books are highly used by the universities. Now, how much of the money is going to the foreign side? You just imagine. Per book average cost is 500, and close to 5,000 institutions are offering. And in every institution, bare minimum, let us assume that there are 30 students are studying. So 30 into 5,000 multiplied with 500. So this much of money is going to the foreign side. So if that money could be saved within our India and are distributed among our Indian population, means you just imagine our growth rate, our growth potential. So that's the point I'm trying to make out here. by simply sharing this particular open textbook. I'm not saying that it's one of the top class good quality textbook. No, I'm not saying that. You can supplement this as a open textbook resource. On the top of it, you look for some more good quality education content that is coming from open educational resources category, and then you supplement your own videos or maybe your own lectures. With the help of that, I think somehow we can fulfill the learning outcomes that is expected from a course. So that is the point I'm trying to convey here. Even there are some educational resources also available here, student resources, and even videos also available. And then for each and every chapter, I mean, suppose if, I also mentioned one more point, right? I don't know whether you are able to recollect that point. Course customization can be done, right? For example, you are teaching some other course, not principles of management. You are teaching some other course, and there you are covering a chapter called history of management, or you are covering a concept called history of management. Only to cover that particular concept, you just refer this particular chapter. You just refer this particular chapter. Through this way, your 5 unit can be clubbed by 5 different sources of material or 10 different sources of material. Through that way, you can completely customize your course. Through that way, we can I mean, update our syllabus in terms of incorporating the recent requirements. So these are the ways, are nice ways how you can also customize your course content and so on. And again, if you look at this book license, this is coming under OpenStax is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution License version 4.0. So you are free to make use of this particular book for any of the purposes. See, with the philanthropic support, this book is used in 173 classrooms, old data, saving students 26 lakh $31,159 this school year. You just convert this dollars into rupees, and then you imagine how much of the money we are spending in terms of procuring a textbook, and this particular budget is completely replaced by this particular open textbook. This is the way how you can populate, make use of open educational resources in terms of saving not only your education budget, not only your student education budget, even you can also save the education budget of our country. Sir, you please watch that 8 minutes video. You will get the clarity on how to do the Creative Commons search. Otherwise, once again, quickly I'll show you. You go to YouTube and then type multiple regression as a keyword. I'm just typing multiple regression as a keyword. And then what you do is, here you have this option called filter. Click filter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth column. Fifth option is Creative Commons. So now whatever maybe the videos you are getting, all those videos are licensed under Creative Commons Attribution License. This is a way how you can locate these YouTube videos.
Okay, sir. Thanks. Got it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Now I'll show you some of the other sources where you can also get the textbook. This is also another source where you can also get the free textbook. For more details, you please visit my site. So please visit this site, you'll get more details. Yeah. Now, one more information is, I'll show you. There are different, international level resources also available. I'll show you how to locate all those international level resources. You can also go to Open MIT, that is MIT Open Courseware Materials. So all those MIT Open Courseware materials are completely free to the public, and you can also make use of the content for your own classroom teaching. So here you can also do the general search, or you can also go to topic wise search or department wise search or course wise search, anything you can do. For example, here I'm just typing multiple regression as a keyword. So I'm getting a lot of content here. So this is one of the recently offered course in edX platform. So I'm just opening this video. So to teach the same linear regression, so here there is a video. I'll show you that video. Video multiple linear regression. So this video is, just a minute, it is opening. Yeah, this video is, this video is actually coming from MIT Open Courseware source. The content duration is 3.52 seconds. And see the licensing category of this video, CC by NCSA, which means that CC by non-commercial share alike license. So this is a way how you can also understand the license of this particular video. And moreover, it's a recent course that was offered in MIT. And moreover, the same course is available in edX platform also. So this is a way how you can understand, how you can locate the content. From MIT Open Courseware, you can also locate some of the assignments, data sets, even exam papers, everything you can get it from MIT Open Courseware. This is also possible. Similarly, you can also go to Open Michigan. This is also another OER site where you will get good quality course content. This is also another source. Yeah. Here you can go to find and then open educational resources. For example, I'm looking for something related to statistics. So here there is a full course available on Introduction to Statistics and Data Analysis. Using R, they did the entire course. So the entire materials are available here, including the videos. So you can also go to their YouTube site. And again, moreover, this content is coming under the CC BY attribution license. You are free to make use of this particular content. So the entire lab manual and then work lab sheet, everything is workbook, everything is available here. This is a way how you can locate the content from Open Michigan. Similarly, you can also go to Open Yale. From Yale University also, there are some free courses are available. Open Yale courses, welcome. You go to this site. So click courses. So these all the different department wise courses are populated in Open Yale site. So I'm trying to locate something related to psychology. Yeah, here is the psychology related course. So related to psychology, there are two courses are available: Introduction to Psychology and the Psychology, Biology and Politics of Food. So basically, Paul Boom is one of the top-notch scholar in psychology domain. So I'm just clicking Introduction to Psychology. So here you have the syllabus, you have the session-wise videos, For example, I'm just trying to play this particular video, Evolution, Emotion, and Reason, Evolution, Rationality. So here you have the 1 hour video on this particular topic, and that can be downloaded in low bandwidth video and high bandwidth video with this much of MB. And the PowerPoint slide is also available from this particular source. You can also make use of this particular content freely for your educational purposes. That is possible. Before that, you just make sure that which type of license they are giving. So like that, there are plenty of sources are available, plenty of resources are available in terms of locating or accessing the OER content. Now I'll take another 10 minutes for showing some of the softwares related to OER. Sir, kindly share the link where we can access the free journals and management. So you can also go to DOAJ site, DOAJ, Directory of Open Access Journals. So here you will get a lot of journal articles at free of cost. And then DO, Directory of Open Access Books, DOAB. So here you will get only the books, basically, Directory of Open Access Books. So this one, it's like another Google where you will get only the open course books materials. This is also another site. Please provide us the free open books on financial accounting. Yeah, you just visit OpenStax College site. There you will get Professor Arogya. Otherwise, you locate my website. So here you try to see that video. There I have provided the link. Sir, can you please suggest best free online citation machines? You can use Mendeley. You can start with Mendeley, or you can also use Zotero. It's a web-based platform. You can also use that. Even in Word also, MS Word also, you have something. But probably you can use Mendeley for citation purposes. And if you have some money to buy the software, my strong recommendation is you can also make use of EndNote software. EndNote is one of the fantastic software for managing the references, basically. Fine. Now, quickly, I'll show you some of the open source softwares. If you visit my site, here I have given list of open source software, especially the GUI based softwares, graphical user interface based softwares related to management discipline or psychology discipline. So first I'll start with Blue Sky Statistics. This Blue Sky Statistics is exactly similar to your SPSS platform. And you can also do a lot of analysis with the help of this Blue Sky Statistics. Quickly, I'll show you. I'm just opening a data set here. Let me open this data set. And then, yeah, there's a way how you can open the data set. And then I'm trying to do the, what you call some summary analysis here. You go to analysis, and then here you are, let me increase the screen size. I think the menus are not properly visible to you. I hope now you can get better visibility. Yeah, you go to analysis. These are all the different analysis you can do, and here you have the summary analysis. I want to do the summary statistics for selected variables. So for those 5 items, I want to get the summary statistics. See, this is a way how you can run the analysis. You will get the minimum, first quartile, median, mean, maximum, all those things you can get it. Even here, you have the provision to integrate your R syntax. With the help of R syntax also, you can run any kind of analysis. Suppose if any one of the feature is not available here, with respect to this particular analysis means, simply you can also integrate R syntax here and then you can also run it. That is possible. Similarly, you can also do some of the analysis like linear regression you can do. For example, linear regression you can do, and then you can also do correlation analysis. See, you can also do, I think here you have the correlation. Yeah, you can also do correlation test. You can do, see the analysis available here. You can do contrast test, survival analysis, decision tree, extreme gradient boosting, IRT analysis, KNN, linear modeling, linear regression, logistic regression, mixed models, basic, and multinomial logistic regression, naive Bayes classification, neural network, ordinal regression, random forest. And then with respect to analysis also, you have time series analysis, variance, survival analysis, reliability analysis, Cronbach alpha. So everything you can do it with the help of this Blue Sky Statistics. This is one of the free software, open source software, having similar kind of window, similar kind of appearance or similar to SPSS. So with the help of this, you can also do any kind of analysis. And then the next software is Zamovi. This software is also freely, coming from the internet platform. And you can also do similar kind of analysis with the help of this particular software. For example, I'm just opening a data here. Open on this PC, or from data library, I'll open something. So here is a data. And if you want to compute some, regression or correlation, I'm just going to the linear regression. One side you will get the menus, another side you will get the output. And one more beauty of using this particular software is, you can also get the output as and when you include some variables here, you will be able to get the outputs in API format. So this is what Zamovi software. So here also you have the R editor. So here you can integrate any of the R syntax and then you can run it. You will be able to get the outputs. So this is a way how you can also integrate R syntax here. Similarly, you have one more software called JASP, JASP. So the reason quickly why I'm showing all those software information here is, at least you spread this information to your neighbors. So that's the reason I'm showing all those things here. Yeah, this is what JASP software. The JASP is one of the software created under open source project by University of Amsterdam people. So this is also exactly similar to Zamovi software. So for example, I'm just opening a data and I'm performing descriptive statistics. For age, I need the descriptives. And then for this variable also, I need the, as and when you include any one of the construct item here, it will add another column of information and then you will be able to see all those results here. Similarly, you can also do the regression here or correlation. For example, I need the correlation among the set of variables. That's it. You will get the correlation. And here you will have the additional options. Like, for example, I want to flag only significance. Now you can copy paste this particular table in your output window. That is possible. Here you can also do linear regression. For example, I'm treating life satisfaction as a dependent variable, rest of the constructs as a independent variable. That's it. So in this statistics, you have multiple options: R square change, descriptives, and then collinearity, diagnostic, whatever you want to get it, you can check here, so that that will be available on your output window. Residual versus dependent plot. So this is a way how you can get all those outputs. So with the help of this, even you can also run some of the machine learning algorithms like boosting regression, k nearest neighbors, random forest, regularized linear regression, boosting classification, k nearest neighbor, linear discriminant classification, random forest, density based clustering, fuzzy c means clustering, hierarchical clustering, k means clustering, random forest. You can do factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, structural equation modeling, mediation analysis, moderation analysis, reliability analysis, summary statistics. Even you do have the R beta version here. So here you can incorporate R syntax and then you can run the model. That is possible. So these are the softwares available under the open source licensing category. Yeah, I'm done. So I'm devoting last 5 minutes, 4 minutes for discussion. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I thought of covering some more things, but due to lack of time, I'm not covering all of the content right now. Yeah. Any questions?
Can we, sir, it's a nice presentations. Whatever you shown to us, it's fantastic. And we, so far we are using as SPSS, and we don't know other sources, but your from your website and your thought, I can get more insight from that one, sir. I definitely use that one, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Professor. Any questions? Sir, kindly share your email address. Yeah, my details are available in my site. You go to contact page. So here I have given my email ID. This is my official email ID. You can approach me through this email. Yeah. Anyway, Saturday again I'm going to meet you in terms of running one more session on understanding flipped classroom. Yeah, we can do SEM. Yeah, SEM also possible, sir. Rajesh, sir, that is possible. Yeah, any other questions? If you have any WhatsApp group for this particular forum, kindly add my number into your WhatsApp group. Through Vijay, sir, I'll share one of the survey questionnaire. So actually, I'm doing some research right now along with one of my co-author. So if time permits, you try to start sometime, maybe 7 minutes or 10 minutes time in terms of filling the questionnaire. Yeah. Yeah, and if you need my expertise details, you go to training and invited talks. So here I have given whatever maybe the trainings I have given so far. So everything is available in this page, and my CV is also available in my home page. So you can also, download the CV from this particular site. So everything is available in my site. Yeah, anything else? Other than statistics, we can go for some other calculation. Yes, possible. With the help of R editor, you can do anything, sir. Kandan, sir, this is the answer for your question. Yeah, any other questions? So I'll share one of the PDF file link where you will get more details about some of the OER links. I'm just sharing. You will get this PDF is coming from my OneDrive folder. Yeah, anything else? Any regulation body for this OER? No, nobody. If you want to license your document, you yourself can give the license. Sorry, I forgot to tell you one more thing. So you can also use this open attribution builder. You go to this open attribution builder. So with the help of this, you can create your own license. Basically, you can create your own license. For example, the way how I have given the license for that particular NPTEL video in my course page. So for that purpose, you can use this Open Washington Attribution Builder. So here you can create the license, and then you simply copy paste that particular image of the license from this Creative Commons org site. If you want to know more about this open course and then Creative Commons licenses, you just visit creativecommons.org. Lot of materials are available in this site, so you can make use of this particular website for learning more about this open course. Need some discussion on SPSS software. No, I didn't discuss anything here. SPSS, that Blue Sky Statistics, Zamovi and Zasp only have discussed. Even there are videos available in my YouTube channel related to those softwares. Or you, yeah, you can also watch those videos. Yeah, anything else? Any other questions? No, here, the given title of the talk is Open Educational Resources. That's the reason I just opened your eyes towards different open educational resources, sir, Professor Kumar. Beyond this, if you need some more inputs on, this Jamovi, JASP, and other things, you can go to my website, videos, Open Educational Resources videos. So there, I think one of the video is related to my webinar. Let me locate my YouTube channel. So this is my YouTube channel. If you are interested, you can also subscribe my channel and you can watch some of the videos. So here a lot of videos are available. So if you go to playlist, so one of the video is about, I'll show you just a minute. Google site research methods, open education resources. Yeah. So here, yeah, if you see this particular video, here, I did a webinar to some other institute. That particular webinar video is available here. And here I have clearly demonstrated Blue Sky Statistics, Zamovi, JASP. You can also watch that video. And then one more video is here. So here within 2 minutes, I just gave some explanation on understanding the JASP software. So these are the 2 videos related to this software. I think I do have some more, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions? If there are no questions, we have only 2 minutes. We can wind up the session. Thanks to Vijay sir and organizing committee members and yeah, thank you, Dr. Purvi. So once again, Saturday we will meet. We'll have some discussion about the flipped classroom. How to flipping the classroom. It's not that only in offline sessions we can flip the class, even in online also we can flip the session. So we'll have some discussion about how you can also flip the classroom using some other strategies. So in the next session, that is what we are going to discuss. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
I request all the participants to switch on your camera for a photo shoot.
Photo shoot. Oh, nice. People are really attentive. Happy to see a lot of senior people. Dr. Ruby, ma'am. Professor Ruby.
Dr. Ruby, ma'am, is the role model of the program, sir. We're happy to hear Ruby, madam.
I think somebody is speaking. I don't know.
Ruby madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We are happy to see you here.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. God bless. Yeah, thank you, sir. God bless.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Dipti, madam. For
Yes, sir. Yeah, done. Yes, thank you all.
Over,
Thank you,
ma'am.
thank you, ma'am.
Over.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
leaving.
Okay.
On behalf of entire organizing team of short-term training program on dynamic transformation of innovative teaching pedagogy sponsored by AICTE, I profoundly extend my vote of thanks to Dr. P. Murugan sir for sharing his valuable insights on open educational resources. Sir mainly focused on significance of open educational resources with many examples. Sir clearly explained common licenses for open educational resources. Sir explained how to access the resources from National Digital Library of India. Sir highlighted many open educational resources where we get e-content. I once again express our sincere thanks for your excellent coverage on the topic, which is really informative, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
ma'am. Thank
thank
you, ma'am.
all the enthusiastic participants for your active participation today for all the three sessions. At last, I would like to thank program convener Dr. Vijay sir for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. Thank you. Thank you all.
thank you, Murugan, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We'll see, sir, again on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Okay,
sir. Thank you very much. God bless.
And
thank you,
one
thank you, thank you.
just a minute, we will put feedback link.
Please, everybody
Huh?
fill the feedback form.
Yeah, fine. So shall I leave, sir? Thanks, ma'am. I don't
Yes,
know
ma'am.
your name. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for coordinating the.
Sir,
Thank you,
Dipti,
sir.
ma'am.
Yeah, Deepti, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank
Murugan
you.
ma'am, hello, Murugan sir. Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Thanks,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Very nice,
Yes.
sir. So
Thanks, Dr.
informative.
Kumar, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Thank
sir.
you so
See
much.
you.
Yeah.
See you.
See you, sir. Yeah. Bye, bye. Bye.
Hello, Vijay sir. Hello. Hello.
Yes, Kumar sir.
Yeah,
Dr.
should I
Kumar?
leave, sir? Should I leave, sir?
Yes, Dr. Kumar Abhishek, you can leave now.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir, I can leave. I have filled up the form.
Ruby madam, yes madam, you filled the form.
Yes, sir, I have filled up.
Yeah, madam. Thank you, madam. Thank you so
Sir,
much. Yes.
welcome, sir. I want to share my letter and email from AICT. So how do I do it? Can I put it up WhatsApp?
You just send to my mail ID, madam.
Your mail ID.
I will do one thing. I know your mail. Evening I will mail you.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, through that I will share to you.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you so much, Ruby madam.
Welcome, sir.
Tomorrow morning we'll meet you again 10 o'clock morning, sir. Sharply 10 o'clock.
Yes, sure. God
Okay.
willing.
Thank you, madam.
God willing. Yes, sir. God bless. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, madam. So, Mahalakshmi madam. Mahalakshmi madam. Hello, Dr. Mahalakshmi madam. Yes. Check the chat box. You just unmute. Yes, madam.
Hello. Let me check.
Yeah. You just check the chat box.
Minute. It's not the phone. My mobile, it has a network problem in the computer. Okay, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Hello.
Yes, madam. You got it, madam.
1 minute. Yes.
You got it. Feedback link.
I got, sir.
Okay. I hope you filled the form.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I filled, sir.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam. We'll meet tomorrow morning 10 o'clock.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.